Snow drifted quietly outside the McCallister house. Twinkling lights wrapped around frosted trees. A plastic Santa waved in the breeze. Inside, silence. No chaos. No cousins. No yelling. Just Kevin. Home alone. Again. He poured a mountain of ice cream into a bowl that was too big and carried it like treasure to the living room. Old black and white movies flickered on the screen. Angels with even filthier souls was queued up. He loved that one. The one with the gangster. The one with the line. "Keep the change, you filthy animal." He grinned, but something was off. The power flickered for half a second, just long enough to darken the entire room. The TV cut to static, and for just a heartbeat, the audio glitched. Not a gunshot, not laughter. A scratchy laugh, deep, wet, mocking, then gone. Kevin paused, spoon halfway to his mouth. The TV resumed like nothing happened. He shrugged. Stupid wiring. That night, he dreamed of a boiler room. It was hot, too hot. Steam hissed from rusted pipes. The floor groaned under each cautious step he took. Shadows danced in the corners. Metal clanged far off like claws on steel. He wasn't holding anything. No traps, no gadgets, just pajamas. "Hello?" His voice echoed down endless hallways. Nothing answered. Then, a voice whispered from behind. "Oh, you're just a little guy." Kevin turned. Something moved in the dark. A silhouette. Hat. Striped sweater. Gloved hand with knives. "You're not real," Kevin said. The thing laughed, and it scraped its claws against the wall. Slow. Deliberate. "Neither are dreams, kid." Then it lunged. Kevin woke up screaming. He was soaked in sweat. The blanket tangled around his legs like restraints. Down the hall, the nightlight buzzed. His door creaked slightly open. He got up, heart pounding, and shut it. Locked it. Then dragged a chair in front of the knob. He sat back on the bed, eyes wide, staring into the dark. His hand trembled as he reached toward the lamp, then paused. There were scratches on the wood of his nightstand. 3 thin lines. Fresh. Outside, the wind howled. But it wasn't cold anymore. It was breathing. Kevin stopped sleeping. Not by choice, not because he was brave. Because he was terrified. He filled his nights with movies, snacks, and the soft glow of Christmas lights. But even in waking life, the house felt wrong now. Too quiet. Too still. Shadows clung to corners they didn't belong in. Pipes groaned like something was crawling through the walls. When the wind brushed the windows, it didn't sound like wind. It sounded like whispering. The dreams kept coming, no matter how long he stayed awake. Second night. The boiler room again. This time he wasn't alone. The wet bandits were there. Harry and Marv, burnt, bloody, screaming for help. Chains wrapped around their necks like metal snakes. Marv's tooth was still missing. Harry's scalp peeled back with steam. They looked right at him, reaching. "Kid," Harry coughed. "You did this. This is your fault." Kevin backed away. He turned. Freddy stood behind him, massive now, impossibly tall, dragging one clawed hand against the rusted wall. Sparks flew. "You're fun, Kev. Got that little rat brain of yours always thinking." Kevin stumbled. "This is a dream. This is a dream." Freddy's grin curled up toward his ears. "And guess what? I run the dreams." Then he ripped into Harry's chest. Blood sprayed like paint. Marv screamed until his face split open. Kevin fell backward. "Oh," and woke up on the living room couch, gasping. He'd peed himself. He tried to tell someone. He called the police, tried to explain there was a man haunting his dreams. They asked if he was home alone again. When he said yes, the line went quiet. "Kevin McCallister, from Chicago," the dispatcher said, sounding amused. "Kid, are you messing with me again? Last time you called, we had a whole precinct knocking down your door. You're not pulling the same stunt. This is different. It's not burglars. It's Freddy. The line clicked. They hung up. Old man Marley came by that afternoon. He knocked on the front door gently, carrying salt in a metal tin. You all right in there, son? Kevin hesitated, then unlocked the door. I'm not sleeping, he whispered, because if I do, he'll kill me. Marley's eyes narrowed. He stepped inside. Tell me everything. The old man didn't blink. He sat in Kevin's kitchen with his hands folded, listening to every word. When Kevin told him the name, Freddy Krueger, Marley paled. I've heard that name. You have? In dreams, long time ago, before you were born. We thought he was gone. Kevin's hands clenched. He's not. Marley reached into his coat, pulled out an old photo. Black and white, a group of teenagers. Tired eyes. Faded smiles. That's my daughter, he said. She died in her sleep. Same time all those kids did in Springwood. Freddy came to them first. Now he's here. Why? Marley stared at him. Because you humiliated evil once, Kevin. You made monsters look stupid. Freddy hates that. That night, Marley stayed on the couch with a shotgun on his lap. Kevin dozed off anyway, just for a minute. And in that minute, the entire kitchen caught fire. In the dream, Freddy threw Marley through a stained glass church window. His body landed with a sound Kevin could feel in his chest. Blood soaked the snow. Kevin woke up screaming, smoke alarms howling. Marley was gone. So was the shotgun. But a trail of salt led from the front door to the basement, and Kevin was alone again. Outside, Freddy's shadow stood across the street, watching, waiting, smiling. Kevin didn't cry. Not when he found old man Marley's empty coat. Not when he followed the trail of salt to the basement and found Freddy's claw marks etched into the furnace. Not even when he opened the door to Marley's house across the street and saw blood pooling beneath the tree where they'd once shared stories. He just stopped talking. He moved with quiet purpose, pulling rope, nails, firecrackers, spray cans. He was going to war. He started rebuilding the house, not as a home, as a weapon. Traps filled every hallway, microphones wired into toys, buckets of paint, tripwires, blowtorches. But it wasn't funny anymore. There were no Christmas songs playing while he worked, no cheeky smirk on his face, only silence and nightmares. Freddy started pushing harder. The dreams got longer, more real. Kevin would fall asleep for seconds and wake up with scratches across his arms, burn marks on his skin. He could barely tell where dreams ended and the waking world began. In one dream, he saw his family. They were at the airport, laughing, but when he got closer, their faces peeled off, smooth, rubbery masks that melted off their skulls. Behind them stood Freddy, arms spread wide. Who needs burglars when you've got a boogeyman, Kev? Kevin ran. He couldn't outsmart him. Not there. Not yet. Back in reality, he stopped eating. He scrawled notes on the walls. Trap basement first. Don't sleep. Freddy, =, weak when mocked. He began experimenting. He watched old VHS tapes, cartoons. He realized Freddy loved being scary. That's where the power came from. So Kevin began drawing comics, mocking comics. Crude drawings of Freddy slipping on toy cars, getting whacked in the face with a paint can, getting electrocuted by a homemade trap. He taped them to the walls, laughed at them out loud, and one night Freddy showed up in his dreams, weaker. What's this, huh? Freddy snarled, holding one of the crayon comics. Kevin smirked. What? You can dish it out but can't take it? Freddy twitched. You think this is a game? Kevin ducked the first swing, rolled under a pipe, tripped a wire, Boom! A flaming can of hairspray blasted Freddy across the room. Kevin screamed after him, "Keep the change, you burned up freak!" Freddy roared, furious, and vanished. Kevin woke up laughing for the first time in days, but the joy didn't last. The next night, Kevin's older brother Buzz appeared in his dream, strapped to a bed, Freddy standing over him with a tongue like a noose. Kevin begged, fought, set off every trap, still lost him. Buzz's body was found in real life the next morning, asleep in his dorm room. No signs of struggle, just one word carved into his chest: cheeky. Kevin lost it. He smashed everything in the living room, tore down the tree, screamed until his voice cracked. Then he started again. This time it wasn't about defense. This was the kill house. If Freddy was coming back, Kevin would be waiting. He pulled out the final piece, a photo of his family, then burned it. The house was no longer a home. It was a war zone. Kevin had turned every floorboard into a trigger, every hallway into a gauntlet. But he wasn't hiding behind paint cans anymore. These weren't pranks. These were weapons. Razor wire stretched across the stairwell, nails coated in rat poison, a trapdoor rigged with a butcher's hook, and a propane tank. This was it. His final night. He hadn't slept in over 3 days. His eyes were bloodshot, his hands blistered, his mind slipping. He stood in the center of the living room, clutching Marley's old salt tin, his only real keepsake now. Around him, candles flickered in a circle. Chalk symbols surrounded the coffee table, copied from ancient books he didn't understand. But none of it mattered. Kevin McCallister was going in. He let himself fall asleep. A controlled collapse. His body hit the rug. His eyes snapped shut. The dream came fast, instant. No boiler room this time. He was in his own house, except everything was wrong. The walls bled. The windows stretched like mouths. Every doorknob was a screaming face. At the top of the stairs, Freddy waited. "You know, Kev," Freddy said, dragging his claws against the railing, "I never thought I'd get tired of killing kids, but you're just, exhausting." Kevin didn't flinch. He stepped forward. He wasn't wearing pajamas anymore. He was in Marley's coat and Buzz's boots, and in his hand, a toy walkie-talkie, cracked, glowing. He clicked the button. Now! Freddy lunged. Clank! A pipe shot from the ceiling, smashing into Freddy's face. He stumbled, and the floor beneath him opened. He dropped into the basement, a nightmare version of it, flooded with gasoline and hung with swinging iron pans and spinning saw blades. Freddy laughed as he climbed out of the pit, blades sparking. "You really think you can Home Alone me to death?" Kevin grinned. "Yeah." He stepped backwards into the circle of candles, now alight with red flame, and Freddy stopped laughing, because standing behind Kevin was Marley. "Surprised?" Kevin said. "You thought you killed him, but this is my dream now." Marley didn't speak. He raised the salt tin and poured. A ring of light ignited around Freddy's feet, glowing brighter, brighter, until it swallowed him whole. Freddy screamed, trying to claw his way out. The floor cracked beneath him, falling into blackness. Kevin stepped to the edge. "Keep the change, you filthy animal." Then kicked him in. Kevin woke up, gasping. His bed was soaked. The air smelled like ash. He sat up slowly, heart pounding. Silence. No laughter, no claws, no shadows in the corners. Just morning light and snow outside the window. He got dressed, went downstairs. The traps were all gone. The tree was upright again. A note sat on the kitchen table, in Marley's handwriting. "Some dreams are meant to end, but some of us stick around. M." Kevin folded the paper, put it in his pocket. That night, he slept with the light off. No fear, no whispers, but just before the dream took him, he heard something. A faint scraping, metal against metal, and a laugh.